Here's a psychology fact you probably weren't expecting. If you feel more alive at 2 a.m. than at 9 a.m., your brain might not be broken. Your environment might be. You know the pattern. The whole day moves slowly. You wake up heavy. Sunlight feels annoying. Conversations feel like effort. And even simple tasks require convincing yourself. You drink coffee just to feel normal. Not productive, just normal. Then midnight arrives. Suddenly, your mind clears. Thoughts connect. You want to organize your life, message people honestly, start things you kept delaying, understand emotions you ignored all day. You feel calm, almost peaceful, like you were holding your breath and finally exhaled. And the world calls that a bad sleep habit. Psychology calls it a delayed chronotype. And once you understand it, your behavior starts making sense. Because this isn't only about sleep. Your relationships, habits, even confidence. All of it shifts around this pattern. Preferring night over day changes how your brain handles emotion, focus, identity, and social energy. But here's the frustrating part. People think night preference comes from phone addiction, scrolling, reels, laziness, so they try to fix themselves. Alarms, routines, sunrise discipline, yet after a few days, the mind quietly drifts back to midnight clarity. That's because guilt can't override biology. Your brain follows chemical timing. Cortisol, your alertness hormone, rises early for morning types. For night-oriented people, it peaks later. You aren't choosing to wake slowly. Your brain literally isn't ready yet. Judging a night brain by morning performance is like judging height before growth finishes. But the real story isn't only biological, it's psychological. Here's the uncomfortable truth. People don't love night because they love darkness. They love it because it's the only time they don't feel watched. During the day, you perform. Even alone, you perform. Messages, expectations, reactions, your mind stays in social awareness mode. Every sound feels like a demand. Every notification needs a decision. Even silence feels temporary. At night, expectations disappear, and your mind relaxes. Now, here's what most people won't admit. Many night people aren't avoiding sleep. They're avoiding pressure. Your brain constantly monitors judgment. A part of the brain reacts to evaluation from others. During daytime, it stays alert. You predict reactions before they happen. You edit yourself before speaking. You choose safer responses. Your mind thinks it's staying prepared, but it never rests. Night removes the audience. No instant reply is needed. No performance required. The brain lowers defense and activates the default mode network, the system for reflection, memory, identity. In simple words, day is reaction. Night is understanding. If that hit you, good, because those midnight realizations suddenly make sense. The conversations you replay, the clarity hours later, the honesty impossible at noon. Your brain isn't overthinking, it's finally processing. And this shapes personality. Research shows night-oriented people score higher in openness, imagination, curiosity, abstract thinking. Not magic creativity, just fewer distractions letting inner thoughts grow louder. Morning brains are efficient. Night brains are associative. One finishes tasks fast, the other connects ideas deep. Think about your best thoughts. Rarely a noisy afternoon. Often in a quiet room at 1:43 a.m. when nothing demands attention. Your brain finally has free bandwidth. But there's a trade-off. Night gives freedom. Freedom gives thoughts. And thoughts don't always give peace. The same silence that creates insight also amplifies emotion. Daytime distractions protect you. Conversations interrupt heavy thinking. Noise shields you from yourself. Night removes that shield. Memories sharpen. Regrets grow louder. Life questions appear uninvited. Comfort prefers distraction. Night removes distraction, so growth and discomfort arrive together. That's why night people feel emotionally intense. Not more feelings, uninterrupted feelings. Morning types process emotion gradually during interaction. Night types store emotional data all day, then process in one burst, like downloading everything at once instead of notification by notification. So midnight clarity feels philosophical. You understand yourself, others, patterns, almost wiser than your daytime version. Morning feels disconnected from that version. You didn't lose insight. Your brain changed mode. Because consciousness has states. Day is outward, practical, task-focused. Night is inward, meaning-focused, interpretive. Neither is better. Society rewards only one, and that creates shame. Night people call themselves lazy, inconsistent, behind, not realizing they're judging performance in the wrong window. Your clearest thinking may happen at 11 p.m. while you judge productivity at 9 a.m., like rating music during tuning instead of performance. There's also an evolutionary angle. Humans once needed different sleep patterns. Some stayed alert while others rested. Night awareness wasn't dysfunction, it was survival balance. That vigilance now turns inward. Attention scans thoughts instead of danger. Night becomes safety to think. That's why many people feel closer to themselves after midnight than any other time. The mind stops filtering for efficiency and starts filtering for truth. But the same system creates rumination. When reflection lacks action, thoughts loop, replaying scenes, rewriting conversations, predicting futures. Not because you want suffering, but because the brain wants closure. Thinking tries to solve emotion. Experience actually resolves it. Night gives analysis. Day gives action. Balance gives stability. Without balance, night thinkers feel mentally full yet practically stuck. So they become observers before participants, understanding deeply but hesitating to act, seeing emotional patterns yet delaying decisions. Depth slows speed, but depth creates wisdom. Many creative breakthroughs came from off-cycle thinkers, writers at midnight, mathematicians in silence, musicians when noise disappeared. Not romance, brain environment. Less input increases pattern recognition. Your brain shifts from logical to integrative. Ideas connect across memories, feelings, imagination. Creativity isn't new thoughts appearing, it's filters lowering. Day brain checks practicality. Night brain allows impossible combinations. And sometimes that feels like the real you. Not scheduled you, not responsive you. Unended you. Which creates attachment. Night people don't just stay awake, they delay sleep to extend identity. Sleep means expectations restart. Night means ownership continues. So the preference isn't darkness, it's autonomy. Understanding this changes everything. Instead of forcing personality change, you design rhythm partnership. Reflection at night, planning, journaling, creativity. Execution later, action when control strengthens. You stop fighting your brain and start placing tasks where it works. Truth is, you are never unproductive. You are mistimed. Measure productivity at your clarity peak, not society's clock. Confidence rises, not from personality change, but repeated competence in your natural alert window. The mind trusts success it experiences often. Night people rarely feel incapable at midnight. They feel misunderstood at sunrise. Misalignment creates self-doubt. Alignment creates self-respect. So the goal isn't becoming a morning person. It's becoming synchronized. Work with your brain instead of judging it, because night isn't stealing your life. It's showing how your mind organizes it. Maybe the calm you feel when everyone sleeps isn't laziness, escape, or even creativity. Maybe it's the only time your thoughts aren't interrupted. So tonight, when your brain wakes after the world quiets, don't rush to judge it. Notice what it solves, what it admits, what feels honest. You might meet the version of you daytime noise hides. And I'm curious, when do your clearest thoughts appear? Morning clarity or midnight honesty? Tell me below. Sometimes understanding yourself starts with noticing when you can finally hear yourself think.